we're going to talk about something interesting where we never really cover like pop culture before, right? So something happened with Andrew Tate and this entire getting virality by being in the room where them play on Kanye West song about Hail Hitler and those kind of stuff. And when I hear this stuff, like some other streamers today when they say he's no longer top G because he sell out this and that, I'm gonna go be frank, and probably nobody never realized this before, but we get heavily influenced by Andrew Tate. Like, as any young man in the Western world, like any young man in the Western world, you get heavily influenced by him, learn a lot from him. And when the other person, when they talk, the other streamer, when they explain, say, him I know top G, call himself top G, I look upon it and I laugh. Like, I genuinely laugh. Even when I watch it, I want to clip, I watch, I'm just laugh. Man, I'll be like, something like crazy. And me, I say, why am I laugh? Because I want deep thinker. I want really deep thinker. Because nowadays, if you never realized this before, like a lot of the people, young men on the internet, are be heavily offensive. Like, they might just be overtly offensive for no reason. Like, back in the day, me I see some many white youths know I use the N-word. Like, this time, like, back in the days, those things were like taboo. White people never get cancelled to do that. You understand me? I say, when since all these young men start become so overtly offensive, I'm realizing that the Andrew Tate effect. Like, you see when he pop off, when he pop off, a lot of young men think say being controversial or saying things outlandish, saying things out of the norm, those are what cause people to stop and click, which is very, very true. But I think they miss the entire thing but what makes a man the top G. And at this may both break down because someone may sit down and reflect on it. Because it's very important if you are a young man, which 70% of my audience are young men, right? We want you to understand, say, it takes more than just the controversial stuff, more than just the physical appearance. I really and truly the story. Because think about it, there's a lot of men you respect, we all agree, but they're not rich. They're not drive a Bugatti. But you respect them. Probably hear that in come home every day. You respect him. Or probably somebody you see in a community who when one time come, you could ask him for your money, or he just, even if he don't give no money, he just how he carry himself, he just always have integrity, reliability, those kind of stuff where just really and truly make you respect them. And me think, people can challenge me in the comment section, but me think saying that today's world, 2026, our world has become, because the social media has amplified this, we become so obsessed with the physical, just materialistic, surface level entity or qualities, aspects, things that we can see, touch, and just hit we immediately, the dopamine rush there. We kind of miss the real core values of what makes a man, what makes a male a man. You understand? Because you have males, many males, but you only have few men. They can look upon and realize they're incompetent and they develop. And when we realize how important it is for you to develop that structure of becoming competent, becoming somebody of integrity, becoming, capable as a man, it don't happen overnight. And unlike the internet, where you can go on the internet today, say some stupid stuff, get a lot of attention, get a lot of fame, and all of a sudden everybody knowing you might get a good amount of money and buy one expensive vehicle. That are just the surface level stuff, but you don't have quality, you don't have depth. You understand me? You just want a hollow image, like a hollow figure. So I realize that are the downfall of the most modern men. A lot of these people where you see online right now are popular and famous, especially men, may talk about it. Them the on their stream in Jamaica, may talk about. Like, the man them act like women. Me think say some of them are homosexual. Like, like, I say, what kind of man would act like that? You see me, but that they might get attention, they might get money. But that's not what being a man is. You understand me? They might miss the steps, them where actually you go through the fire, you get refined, things happen to you, you have stories. That is development. And that is, I think, the foundation of what men need. Back in the men they will glorify, are the regions of men will glorify. Like Spartans, them type of people there. Then you have one tradition where men, young boys, and take from their mother, from their child, like from their ween, they take them from their mother and then go through like this ritual. You have to go through fire, and them those who survive become men, become adults. So powerful. I even just thinking about that, like, yo, look for that. So I think with tradition leave that, and we just get the end result of what a man should have, which is the money and the status and the fame. But really and truly, the men who have it now are just boys. Boys, I just really, yeah, I just boys. I just grown boys. You know, they have a lot of money, a lot of cars, women they own them, but it's not, they're not developed. So they're very racist for no reason, right? Overtly, because that will get them clicks. I mean, I tell you this as a young man. Like, you have to look into the future. Like, the things them way to know. Probably when you're a child or you're young, you just think say it will be alright. But down the line, you go have to look back on certain things and go have to stay accountable. Like, if you go have business partners who they in a different race, if you have be one international powerful figure, if you have great aspirations, okay, you watch a book of the essence content, you naturally go have great aspirations. You think me who want to be one world national, like one world leader, a world leader, we can't be overtly racist to our next demographic group because we go have to do business dealings, international relations with them. You have to look for people, you know, people who may actually admire. I actually admire the Prime Minister. Interesting enough, like, I really admire him. Because I start to see how him behave, like how him carry himself. I start to understand, say, whoa. If you want to be on a level, you know, you kind of you have to look for certain people and realize how them act and learn, take lessons from them. You can't do certain things, you can't say certain things. You have to come off more polished, more refined. And it's not just all about being men, like just being a man. You have to look for how men operate and then learn from them. There's a saying which may actually think people dumb. People just think the worst about politicians are their leaders. They're dumb or something like that. Actually dumb. Like, they might lead your country. They might lead your country. How you think to them you know more than them? So why you not lead? You understand what I tell you? How they must set your policies. They must set the rate where you are pay tax. They must set everything around you. Your entire environment in control. How you think say you smarter than them? You not control nothing. You need to control. If you can't get some people running their house. How is running their house and think you go to jail? How you think you're smarter than them? So these are just the ways how the modern society has just misled men, misled people on a whole. And it's time where we start, sit down and reflect. I'll come to a real deep understanding. I say, being a man, you have three base qualities so far me realize. You have to have integrity, you have to be consistent, and you have to be hyper reliable. All those things become they make you competent, but once you're consistent, once you have integrity and you're reliable, you just become such a man where people respect. Respect come natural. And we just want to double down on the fact that there's a lot of people in today's society, and trust me, you can't get misled by this. People who have a lot of attention. We might look upon them and say, oh, they're famous, right? But they're not influential. And Vybz Kartel, I watched an interview in the past with Vybz Kartel, and me see how he explained that perfectly. He said, yo, like, there's a lot of artists with hot songs, but they can't fill a stadium. I mean, oh, for real? Actually, like, enough people have hot songs, but they can't move up. They can't make people get up and say, all right, we go to this concert. But them have a trending song. The thing about it is that when you become influential, you move people, you move the masses. I'm explain this again with politics. I explain when we run. We get thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. More, we know we get more coverage than any of the other candidates. Any of the other MP candidates from the other major political parties we were in a single constituency. We get more coverage on them. We can't have more followers on them. I explain that already to them. But what happened? Because them part of one influential party, them could have literally moved the masses. When me say, yo, everybody follow out yourself, put on my status, put on my story, make that another video, come out yourself to support. Nobody name move. Only a few people, 1 or 2 people. But you know, that's a difference between attention, but me have all this attention. You understand me? I get videos when they go viral. So this is the thing, attention does not equal influence. And you have to learn to build influence in this world. This is where you have to focus on influence. And influence comes from the character. The character where you have and your reputation. The part is where these people have reputation. Everybody have reputation. And that will go be the backbone of influence. So if you are an individual where the only way you try to get ahead now are just be controversial, overtly racist, or disrespectful in this society, just try to do that as a young man, you'll be misled by the system. That's how you get attention, but that's not how you become influential. That's not how you move the masses. That's not how you go make your left a real impact in the world. Because there's a lot of controversial figures that pop off constantly with the last 5 years. From 2020 to 2025, enough controversial people, but you forget about them. Because, you know, then that's what was a thing. And that's how it works. You as a man, it's what me discover. You need to learn how to have integrity, how to be consistent, how to be reliable. And that just could be the backbone of your competency. And then from there, so people go just naturally drawn to you and you can influence the masses. So this is the 2026 understanding where may I go, educate and enlighten as much young men as possible.